Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
Hey, what's going on? What's happening, everybody? I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Account for Your Life podcast. Jay Moore here, the healthy accountant, helping you to account for your life. And today we're going to jump into I think this is going to be this is a different topic. I never talked about it before. The perils of a business owner. We're going to look at some myths. We're going to look at some issues that many business owners have. That I've had. And I've had to deal with along the journey. So I'm going to share those with you and hopefully get value from this. So I want to thank you for joining me. And guys, look, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go over subscribe to YouTube. I believe they may have it now that you can actually just go and put in my handle, the healthy accountant. If not, just look for, Jay Moore, the healthy accountant. Subscribe to the channel, man. We want to get our subscribership up. If you are a purpose-driven entrepreneur, someone who knows that they have something on their heart, want to look, you want to go to a different level, and you know that God has actually positioned you for something great and something different, then definitely going over. That's what this podcast is all about. So thanks for joining us today. And let's jump into this topic of the perils of a business owner. Perils of a business owner. And just to kind of help you to understand where I was when I started a business. I want you to just listen. This is a conversation I'm having with you about where I was when I started the business. I had been an employee all my life up to that point. That was 2002. So, wow, I was 31 years of age. So 31 years. I had some beliefs. I want you to think about this. I had some personal beliefs about working and didn't know anything about business. Right? I went to school, got a degree in accounting, I had already passed the CPA exam, and I was actually in the process of being licensed when I was laid off from my job. I want you to think about this. If you go from being someone who's an employee to all of a sudden being a business owner, or all of a sudden deciding you're going to start a business, then I can almost say, because I'm certain about what happened to me. I had a mindset. So one of the things one of the myths, this is a myth. One of the myths that I took into the business was the fact that I had to do the work. I came into the business, man, I got to do all this work. But here's the thing, I didn't know what work to do. So I started doing the work of the business, which is being an accountant. I'm not saying I shouldn't know how to do it. What I'm saying is I want you to think about a business owner. Okay, let's back up. I'm going to back up. Did I know what a business owner was when I started my business? Let's think. I saw businesses. Did I know any business owners? I don't think I knew any business owners. And if I did know any business owners, back then, no one was vocal. No, there was no social media to be like, hey, look what I'm doing. There was none of that. So I didn't actually know I didn't know who a business owner was. So I just kind of looked around, and all the people that was in business, they just was doing the work of the business. So I go in thinking, that's the business. That's who I'm going to be. I'm just going to do all this work. And here's what happened. I quickly banged my head against the wall. But I didn't know I was banging my head against the wall. I didn't know that. I was banging my head against the wall and didn't know it. I did do some marketing. I invested in that. And that's another thing. You will have to make an investment, right? And we're going to get the money in a second. But I initially got started. Here's how I initially got started. I just made some calls. Like, hey, friends, family, can you be my clients? I'm going to do your taxes. Do. I start doing the do. Write that down. I start doing the doo-doo. What is doo-doo? Do you know what doo-doo is? Come on now, y'all. Come on. What is doo-doo? Put that in the chat. If you're watching this, what is doo-doo? What is doo-doo? I start doing the doo-doo. So here it is. I got into the business and I'm doing the doo-doo. I'm doing, I'm telling my friends and family, hey man, I'm going to do your doo-doo for you. I'm going to do your stuff for you. And, I realized that, man, it's a lot of work to do the doo-doo. Oh my goodness. I would get clients and then I would get backlogged. And is that happening? So one of the myths was I had to do all this work, and that created a bottleneck. That created some big challenges for me. One of the other myths is that I used to think something called time is money. Have you ever said time is money? Come on now. I used to say, man, time is money, man. So don't be wasting my time because because I've got to work. I've got to use my time to do all this work. And because I believe time was money, I did not value the one thing that was more important than the time. I'm more important than the money. Time. So here it is. I'm the business owner. And being the business owner, I'm sitting there like, well, man, how do you go from now? If I just fast forward, I'm going to fast forward from 2002 all the way to 2009, 2008. Market collapses. I started another business, which was in the collapse. Here it is. I went back and I said, well, I guess I can just do this thing over here, and not realizing that was a good time to make a pivot, to do something different, to go all in. But because I thought time was money, then I actually start working for money. Have you ever worked for money? See, a business owner, one of the biggest challenges a business owner is going to have if they don't separate themselves from time, from the money. You got to separate yourselves from the money. And then you got to look at the most valuable thing, which is I had to start looking at what's the most valuable thing, which I spend a lot of time now thinking. Lots of time thinking, because I realized, man, when you come up with something, it's kind of like I'm creating this brand new challenge. It's kind of like on some of the things that I'm talking about today, actually. I'm creating this brand new challenge. It's an accounting challenge. I know, right? It sounds fun, but this would be the premier. This would be the best accounting challenge a person will ever join, because what they're going to discover is that accounting leads you to your purpose. Accounting could potentially lead you to your purpose. Accounting could potentially lead you through the perils of being a business owner. Accounting can lead you to the point where you actually have a real business. Like accounting can do that, right? Not traditional accounting. We're not talking about traditional. So no, this is not this is not where someone actually has to learn how to do accounting. No. You have to learn how to do accounting, but you have to learn how to do accounting using time and actually looking at the important things. So I'm doing this thing, but that came from an idea that I got in January. Do you see this? So what God does, you pray. Anybody here pray? I pray. You pray, God, can you please help me? And well, he said, I gave you an idea. Go do something with it. So how much money you need, son? Man, I need $1 million. Okay, there you go. You get an idea. He doesn't just give us $1 million. He's going to give you an idea that's worth millions or worth multi-millions. That's what he does. He just God is not that kind of God where he's walking around just letting it rain to every here. Take some money now. There's times when it comes in fast. Like Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich, keyword think. He says in Think and Grow Rich that when riches come, they almost come so fast that you're like, oh my goodness. They come so fast. I was listening to a YouTube video yesterday at the gym, and a guy comes on and he's talking about how he helps people to grow their business just by changing how they think. I says, man, that sounds like that sounds like something I'll be doing soon. Because guys, it's here. Do you need some type of strategy? Absolutely, you need a strategy. But if you don't change this, like if you take the the employee mentality into your business, it's going to be almost impossible. It's going to be almost impossible to get to the level that you'd like to get to. Virtually impossible. So here it is. It's been virtually impossible for me to do some of the things because I was thinking like an employee for many years, like an employee. I wasn't thinking like a business owner, and didn't realize that a business owner is totally different than an employee. A business owner is totally different than a CEO. Did you know that? A CEO is different than a COO, a CTO, a CFO, CMO. You know what those are? Chief Executive Officer, Chief Operations Officer, Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Financial Officer. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are all the roles, major roles in a business. But here's the thing. When you're a business owner, what happens is you take on all those roles. Now, how successful are we going to be? How successful are we going to be when we have all those roles? I'm going to tell you, it wasn't until I made one hire, just one. I hired one person, took me from 100 to 300. Just one person. Now, that was a good person. Just one. 100 to 300. 100 to 300. I want you to think about that. Just hiring one person. We tripled. We just went boom, bam. But here's the thing. What God wants to do with purpose-driven entrepreneurs is something totally different. See, and this is what I've discovered, because I've discovered that, yes, I'm a purpose-driven entrepreneur. Yes, there's a purpose in my heart. But here's the thing. That purpose will never come to fruition if I don't grow from this place of employee to business owner to CEO to someone who really understands the whole process. There's an accounting for every process. There's an account. Like, think about this. Like, I see Brittany's on here. What's going on, Brittany? Brittany's an accountant. So what happens is a lot of accountants are in one realm of the business. They don't understand the rest of the business. A lot of accountants are just looking at, well, look at the financial aspects of the business. But do you know what the marketing numbers are? Do you know what the operational benchmarks are? Numbers? Do you know the rest of the pendulum? Like, can you really understand like where the levers are in the business? A lot of times accountants don't reckon. We can't sit. And I'm gonna say we, because I didn't know anything. Because all I was thinking about was, well, here's the profit and loss statement, here's the balance sheet, and all that good stuff. And you just got to understand that stuff. But do you understand it, Mr. Accountant? Do you understand that if we spend X amount of dollars for marketing or for advertising, then we could get $3 back. If we put $1 in, we get $3 back. A lot of times accountants don't even know that process. They're like, what you talking about? We are spending too much money on advertising, but look, it's bringing in money. So a lot of times the accountant is stuck in one realm, but the person who becomes like well-rounded, as a CEO of a business, we have to be well-rounded. See, accountants, I realized, it's funny, man, I was meeting with my marketing agency, this was several months ago. And he was like, he says, man, Jay, he says, Jay, you have a different way of kind of piecing this together. He says, man, you could work with accountants, but you could also work with accountants and business owners at the same time. And at the time I was like, I was having a hard time reconciling. So, I'm not going to teach that. He says, you don't have to teach tax, which, but there's a lot of bookkeepers that need to understand some basics about tax, which I found that I've had bookkeepers in my challenges. I've been able to help bookkeepers to be able to say, hey, well, you should know this, and blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. It's the real accounting. It's what I'm calling, and I'm not even going to say it yet, because I need to talk to my trademark specialist, so I'll make sure I can get this. But at the end of the day, we have to be well-rounded. So a purpose-driven entrepreneur, you cannot be, you're single-minded, you're singly focused on your purpose, but then you have to be able to see all the levers. You have to be able to see it, right? So the perils of a business owner, and I would have put purpose-driven, but I think it wasn't It would have been too many words. So the perils of a purpose-driven entrepreneur, purpose-driven business owner is that they've been living singularly minded. And because they've been living singularly minded in their in what it is that their purpose to do, which they probably a little unsure of that. It's funny, I was praying last night before I let you go. I was praying last night. I said, God, can you give me a wink in the morning? Give me a wink. Have you ever asked God to give you a wink? Ask God for a wink, meaning the wink was, I want you, not that I wasn't testing God, but I was asking him to show me something that I would understand being a wink. So I'm in the gym and something weird comes on and the person talking, and they said something that totally was the wink. I said, are you serious? Now this has something to do with my purpose. I said, are you serious? He says, yeah, everything. See, God does everything in order, right? I think that's in 1 Corinthians 14. At the very end of the chapter, I think the last verse is all about God does everything decently and in order. So imagine your date of birth. Imagine your date of birth. I'm gonna let you go right after this. Imagine your date of birth. Your date of birth represents something specific. See, God looks at things and then he says, man, they don't even know why I chose that day for them. They don't even know why I chose that year for them. And I was talking to somebody recently and they said, well, my birthday is October the 19th. And they were just like, well, October is the number 10 in the Hebrew. It's order. Think about this. The number 10 in the Hebrew is order. So he positioned me for order. Which, okay, accounting, look at that. There's order. There's a lot of order there. But the wink that he gave me this morning was like the year was the answer to a problem. And I'm going to get into that in subsequent videos and my challenge and all the good stuff. Share that with everybody because I think that's important for purpose-driven entrepreneurs, purpose-driven business owners looking to see the whole picture of their purpose so that you can actually live it out. So that you can actually, not feel like an imposter. Look, I'm going to tell you, somebody called me. I'm about to let you go. Someone called me 2 days ago and they was asking me about something that I don't know about. And I felt so good. I don't even know. I don't care. I was like, I don't do that. Just because I'm a CPA don't mean I know everything about every piece of tax code. And I don't want to know everything about everything in the tax code. So I used to live in imposter syndrome. And I would say, well, I think I can help you. Dumb. I don't want to help. That's not in my lane. And because I know what my lane is now, I say no to everything else. If it's not within the realm of where I know my problems where I can solve the problem and get it done, I'm saying no, because that's what your purpose does. And if you're a business owner, then getting to the point where you can see the picture, but then you can pull the levers of what it is that you need to do so look, your purpose is filled, your business becomes the solution to someone's problem. And at the end of the day, what do we all want God to say to us? You know the words, well done, thy good, key word there, good. Because look, good is not a word that even Jesus would allow himself to use. Good and faithful. Let's live up to that. If you're a purpose-driven business owner, keep watching this podcast. Let other people know about the podcast. Account for Your Life is here to help people like you, purpose-driven, or you're still looking to discover it. I believe you'll be able to discover that here if you continue on. And I've got a new challenge coming out very soon. Hopefully I can get that posted up on the page within the next day or so. And then you can register because I believe that that's going to be a game changer for many business owners. So thank you for joining me today. I'm Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. God bless. I will see you on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.